The trend of electrification is putting incredible new demand on energy infrastructure. Just one data center in Ontario consumes as much power as all of Toronto. I mean, think about this. These are known as hyperscalers, and the province is projected to see at least 16 more of them completed over the next decade. It is a trend playing out right across the country. Why? Well, let's talk about it. Joining me now for a look at how provinces plan to keep up with the surge in demand is Beverly Nollert. She is the Senior Director of Power System Planning at the Independent Electricity System Operator, which manages Ontario's power system. Good to have you in today. So data centers have been around for a while. We know that. That's not new, but it's the rise of AI that's really driving up power demand, something I hadn't thought about. How significant is the increase we're seeing in energy usage from systems that use AI?
Yeah, so data centers are absolutely a key driver of electricity demand growth in Ontario, and there are several other factors that are contributing to this growth. We are seeing the population increase in Ontario. We're also seeing long-term economic growth within the province, particularly from mining, mineral extraction and processing, as well as electric vehicle supply chain. We're also seeing electrification of our industrial processes, of buildings, of homes, and of our transportation sectors. And according to our latest projections, we are expecting a significant increase in electricity demand over the next several decades as a result of all of these factors. Now, if we go back to data centers, as you point out, they are not new. But what is new is the volume, the scale, and the pace that we are seeing data centers wanting to connect to Ontario. And this is really driven by that explosive growth in the digital economy from AI, as you mentioned, from cloud and digital services. And we're also seeing cybersecurity requirements drive some of that growth, including the need to store data more locally. And to provide a perspective on how big this could be, we are seeing some very large proposals for individual data centers, some that have the similar requirements to all of the demand for a Southern Ontario city. And so that's the scale that we're planning for.
Let's talk about scale. I'm going to break down some data for everybody. Electricity demand in Ontario alone is expected to grow by 75% by the year 2050, which is higher than the 60% previously forecast. How surprising was that change to you?
Yeah, so in our line of work, we often say that the one constant is change, and this is precisely why we update our demand forecasts on an annual cadence to reflect the latest information. And if we look at the projections that we released a year ago and compare those with our most recent projections, we are seeing a great deal of alignment in terms of signaling long-term electricity increases over the next several decades. And this is something that is it's not unique to Ontario. We're seeing this. We speak with our peers all across Canada, in the US, and in fact, globally. And Ontario has a plan to meet that demand. We are acquiring new electricity.
I was going to ask you. Okay, what is the plan? What's the plan?
Yes, so our plan leverages an all-of-the-above approach. And what that means is we are leveraging every type of supply resource available to us in our toolbox to enable that growth. That includes leveraging nuclear, renewables, including wind and solar, biomass, hydroelectric, energy storage, and natural gas. And we recently concluded the largest procurement for energy storage ever in Canada, which is now resulting in several large-scale batteries connecting in Ontario. And that allows us to store low-cost electricity when we don't need it and inject it when we do need it. We're also making big investments in energy efficiency, which allow us to avoid the need for additional infrastructure. And on top of all of that, we're making recommendations for new transmission infrastructure that allow us to transport the electricity from where it's generated to where it's consumed by customers like you and I.
Beverly, well, I wanted to ask you about that because when I hear about all the investment being made, that's a lot of money that's headed this way. Does that mean the cost will be passed on to consumers? Should we expect that?
So our goal, as part of our planning, is to maintain a reliable and affordable electricity system. And to that end, we evaluate cost effectiveness as part of all of our plans. And many of our actions take that to heart. So for example, as part of our all-of-the-above approach, we run procurements that allow competition, which allows resources to compete and ensures that we get the best price for all of Ontarians. And as I mentioned, we're also making big investments in energy efficiency, which is our lowest cost resource.
Beverly, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I want to mention we've reached out to the Ontario Energy Board to see if the increased demand for electricity projected in the future will lead to those higher prices. Here's what they wrote, quote, regulated price plan prices are set annually based on a forecast of how much it will cost to supply electricity to RPP consumers over the next 12-month period using available information and or factors at the time. Factors that inform this year's forecast are not necessarily representative of future trends.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.